Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the CyberPC Extreme Gaming Series 2017. This is the fall edition with Vansili and, of course, Brawny. Getting ready to bring up the first matchup. It's looking to be a pretty interesting weekend. Thank you guys for taking a break from E-League to watch this, as I think we have a good matchup coming up now with OpTic Gaming and Torque. First off, though, Scrawny, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm still, recovering a little bit from last weekend when we were at the Cineplex Canadian Championship. So it's back-to-back weekends that I get to hang out with you, and that's always going to be a treat.
You know what? And it's probably our first time since last year where we get to cast together, because the last time we broadcasted together was the Northern Arena Finals at the Bell Center. And it was actually a triple cast, you, me, and Lawners, and then suddenly I was the odd man out. It kind of happens. I don't know, it's weird, because it happened to me before with Josh Steele hanging out with the girl. He decided to come in, and then suddenly he steals the girl, and then now it's just the same thing in a casting area.
You're a hell of a matchmaker, Alex.
I guess just call me the Cupid of anything. I guess I'm
Cupid of CS:GO.
I'm the best wingman. But yeah, head to head, we want to let you guys know what's happening this weekend. So we have 8 teams in this double elimination bracket. Or sorry, is it double elimination? No, it's just single elimination bracket. But 8 teams. We actually had Immortals that dropped out last minute, so we actually brought in Torqued, and that pretty much reseeded everything for the whole weekend. So we were expecting to do a Torqued versus Rise Nation, but that was going to be a little bit unfair in terms of seeding. So now we got OpTic Gaming and Torqued that we're going to be casting first. And for me, I think it's going to be a very, very interesting matchup, because for me, it's going to be Torqued's real first test in and since they started pretty much.
Yeah, for sure, right? We see them last weekend at the Cineplex event. They had some tribulations there in the sense that sure enough they walk away with the win over SKDC, but even that went to a 3-map series.
Yeah.
The 2 maps that they did pick up were very convincing. And so there's definitely a lot of praise that I think should be given to aspects of Torque's play. They started off the ESEA season in between these 2 events, and they have a single win over Soar Gaming, another kind of up-and-coming Premier level team.
Yeah.
This is definitely their first real test as far as online settings are concerned. And it's crazy to me that, of all the teams in the ESL Pro League that they could have potentially faced off here in the CyberPower event, they get the first place team at the current moment.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be a tough one. But a part of me really doesn't want to sleep on Torque, I have to admit.
No, I'm a fan of both teams. In the end, if we look at it individually, I'm a big fan of Steele. The way he's been, for me, a prominent person in the CSGO community. While for OpTic Gaming, I've always been an OpTic Gaming fan, especially of Mixwell. So to see him still compete, he didn't have to move back to Europe. We get to see him, at least for our time zones, lots of matches coming in from Mixwell. I'm really glad that I'm going to be able to cast this matchup too. So Veto's already underway, but just before we get into that, I want to let you guys know that we actually have some giveaways actually from CyberPowerPC, as well as their usual prediction head-to-head that they have going on. So you guys can find all those details on csgo.cyberpowerpc.civo.com. Make your predictions. Top 3 will get some prizes. If not, we also have the regular giveaways from our friends at Corsair, Western Digital, and Steel Series. Now we're going to get into the ban process. What are your thoughts about this, actually? Because the veto is going quite fast. Let's talk it through.
Yeah, so right away we get the Mirage ban from the side of Torque. That's a map that right away Josh has been very vocal in dissing on. He argues it's the new Dust 2. That was kind of his narrative the entirety of the World Gaming event. It's the event they actually lost to SKDC, so a recent loss for certain teams to maybe look into. Get it out of the way. Makes absolute sense. Cobble ban from OpTic, nothing out of the usual there. We get the Cash pick. We get the Overpass pick. We're going to be going from maybe a simplistic execution style here from Torqued on Cash to what will be a more complex, rotation heavy map like Overpass. So we do have 2 maps that we can definitely draw differences from. But then the randomizer decides to go ahead and pick Train. And while that's going to play back again into this heavy execution style that maybe is similar to Overpass, the difference there is that's a map that Torqued are not shy of. This is a really cool map process and map pool for this BO3.
We always talked about how Torque did very well against Gale Force on a map like Train when they had their online qualifier for IM Oakland.
Yep.
But now they're going to come up against pretty much a European powerhouse of the leftovers that got together and are actually doing a pretty decent impact here in North America. Thing is, for me, OpTic Gaming, most of the matches that I've been trying to follow or whatnot have been with their ESL Pro League. Yes, they're currently #1 in ESL Pro League, but if you look at the results that they had, they've been very, very close games, and notably, it's against teams like Splice, against teams like Complexity, where they never really had, for those two teams, any type of like big showing, but to like have 16-14 scorelines against OpTic Gaming, it shows that they might need a little bit more familiarity and practice within this whole roster, because again, it's another new international roster. I don't think language barrier is quite a thing. It's more about personality, right? You're looking at somebody like Alu who never really speaks or smiles or talks. You have somebody like Freiberg, which I really enjoy seeing Freiberg these days in OpTic Gaming. I feel like his passion is his drive to play well and to want to do well and to exceed in the Counter-Strike scene. The getting together with this roster really fired him up. So I don't know what you think about that.
I mean, I think that like as far as careers are concerned, this OpTic lineup is really exciting, just in the sense that like you almost get the trimmings of a lot of other successful lineups, and yet you're not left over with what I would argue are the worst players, right?
No,
at no
definitely
point
not.
was Magisk Boy the worst player on North, but they cut him based on other reasonings, and for him to end up on a team like OpTic, then this is perfectly fine for him. To kind of return back to your note of these very close score lines on the ESL Pro League regular season versus OpTic, they actually have 2 losses on cash. One of those losses is belonging to Misfits, 16-10. And then they have another loss versus Renegades 16-8.
Yeah.
So we're starting off on a map whereby they've already shown some, aspect of weakness. And while Torqued obviously have yet to be tested, I do think that they're going to have a certain capability when it comes to just fragging out here this weekend. I mean, they have nothing to lose, while OpTic are coming into this event considered favorites and showing signs of slight weakness. Then you think of the fact, ignoring Overpass, which I think might be really one-sided, Train is a map where a team like Complexity got 13 rounds versus OpTic on Train as of late. A team like Renegades got 14 rounds on it as well. So there's definitely some weakness here coming in from OpTic that I'm not going to overhype. I'm not going to jump onto the Torque train just yet. But I really just, again, do not see that much of a washout.
Yeah, do you know if OpTic Gaming has the potential of running double op setups? I guess so with Mixwell and Alu at this point, if you're looking at OpTic Gaming. If you're looking at that head-to-head, kind of like these setups where you could have double ops, sometimes, very rarely do we see it on a map like Cash, but if it actually does go to a third map, I still have to look, if you're looking on paper and how these guys are, you're looking at Mixwell and Alu versus Steel and Four Shot.
Yep.
And you give a heavy advantage to OpTic Gaming there. Like on paper right now, in terms of OpTic Gaming, you probably have to give it to them to win this series.
Yeah, as far as paper is concerned, OpTic are just levels above and beyond. Even in terms of like international relevance, international accomplishment, if not with certain teams, just on an individual basis. Like that's going to be the biggest difference here. If you isolate these two teams, you can make arguments for Torque being good on Cash, being good on Train. You can isolate arguments for OpTic being weaker.
Yeah.
But in no world can you compare these two lineups and really truly think that Torque are going to be the favorites here. It's going to be a massive underdog story, but one where if you win a couple pistol rounds, which we know they have prepared strategies for, they were using them all weekend long at the Cineplex event. If you can get that early economy momentum, then anything's possible. But yeah, if we do get to the double op setup or even the single op setup, like I can't compare Alu to Four Shot. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, for
he had
sure.
a great event at Cineplex, and when Josh picked up that secondary op, he played it as well. But Alu is just a whole other machine, and that's the story of OpTic. At any moment, any of these players on OpTic can single-handedly carry a game. And if that occurs this weekend, then Torqued are done for.
Yeah. I think when you look at how this veto process went down, when you look at the randomizer between Inferno, Train, and Nuke, you're sitting very comfortably with Torqued. I think the way that Steel currently played this ban pick role with OpTic Gaming really favors them right now, because they have their cash pick that they want, that they're comfortable on. The Train, we just talked about as well. Inferno, they had some good results. They had some bad results as well at World Gaming, but they have a very consistent setup for their CT play. I think what was lacking from if you guys missed any of the action for World Gaming, what was lacking was how they wanted to execute their T sides on Inferno. But if not CTs, it was something that, you always have Steel playing a single up towards Banana, A2Z playing the rotator on the left side mid over to B to support whenever he can. So if you're looking at those last 3 maps, maybe even Nuke could be something that they could be decent on. We haven't seen him yet, at least I haven't. But with the last 3 maps remaining, you could see that Torqued is pretty comfortable with any of those maps.
Yeah, and it's ultimately just the randomizer, right? So for those of you guys not entirely aware, it's not banning down to the last remaining map. It's that randomizer on 3. So had Inferno come up, I think Torqued would be just as comfortable as to being on Train here. And again, map vetoes definitely went to the way of the potential upset. But it's still such a tiny potential. I don't want to write off Torqued just because they are looking good. But if they were able to come in here and even win cash, I think that's an accomplishment in and of itself. And having the chance to have spoken to these players last weekend, and obviously knowing Josh more intimately than I, that they're taking this opportunity as exactly that, an opportunity to continue proving themselves, to continue to improve and learn. And from a loss, from a win, it doesn't quite matter. No matter what, this is a good chance for them here in the CyberPower event.
Yeah, when I talked about Freiburg having that fire to be able to compete again with a high caliber team and to make an impact here in North America, Steel pretty much has the same thing. When you look at Steel before we got in, or before Torqued got, or he got unbanned rather with the iBuyPower guys, he was basically the rank S PUBG streamer, kind of being toxic in a sense that he's very bored and he's like, how the hell are these guys making these plays on rank S? And then you see that there was a little bit of frustration. He's like, man, I'm tired of doing this streaming grind. But then right after that, as soon as they get the unban, you could see that his mentality in game and outside of game has flipped over, because now he gets to play with people that he loves to play with, good friends of his that he's known for the longest time, whether it be in 1.6 or Source, mainly Source, and even moving into CSGO. But he has an opportunity to be like, here are some strats that we could run. You guys are comfortable with this and that. And he doesn't have to actually bitch about it too much, because he knows and he's comfortable with the guys that he's playing with. So he also has that drive of like, okay, I'm gonna stream a lot less. We're gonna be practicing a lot as a team. We're actually going to be watching a lot of scrims, a lot of demos, just to make sure that we are preparing against these top teams. He wants to make an impact. He wants Torqued to be back on the map before this whole shebang happened with the iBuyPower ban almost 2 years ago, right? So I'm very excited for Torqued. I'm very excited for Steel. Really happy to see him back in the scene. That being said, though, here's Scrawny. As we have a little bit of more time to kill, let's look a little bit of what these guys are playing for. So for this weekend, it's $15,000 on the line. This is cash prize. So first place getting $9,000, second place $4K, and then whoever makes it to third and fourth is $1,000. Now, for some of us who are like the struggling, trying to scratch at the bottom of the barrel as casters, $1,000 split between 5, you only get $200. It's good for me, good for you, Scrawny, not good for a pro gamer. So you really want to fight it here for this $9,000.
Yeah, you're definitely motivated to get towards the upper top. It's a little more tiered once you get up there. So there's definitely that aspect of ambition, especially for a team like Torqued, right? They're going to be super hungry for this. ESL Pro League is something that OpTic Gaming are competing in. Torqued are obviously in the Mountain Dew League, which will get you towards the MDL LAN Finals and your chance at a promotion match. But MDL LAN Finals, I believe, is $50K. So nothing in comparison to the kinds of events that OpTic are currently playing in. Obviously Torqued have IEM Oakland qualifier coming up, so they've got these multiple facets that they should be focusing on as of late, And that's definitely going to be putting tools into their trade, right? I mean, we saw throughout the Cineplex event, despite it not always working, they would sometimes come into a round with a set strategy, like a certain peak or a certain double op aggro like peak, and then it just wouldn't work. They'd miss the shot and it would fail. But the point being that they have these set plays, and that's something that a lot of teams at their caliber, especially being as an MDL caster, I can tell you, teams don't have. Even if you're having a bad day and you're not getting your kills, coming into a game with a plan and with a fallback is just so valuable. And that's again going to be something that Torque can bring into this game versus OpTic, and it's all going to come down to whether or not who's hitting shots.
Correct.
You know, I'll repeat myself. OpTic are better. It is unarguable. Any of these players can single-handedly win games. Like, I mean, even a guy like Alu, right, who sometimes gets flack for the bot Alu, God Alu complex. When he decides to win a match, it happens. And even going down to somebody like HS coming in off of Penta, an unproven player as far as international LAN results and, you know, career is considered, but still has that capability. He has the ability to just carry games. And when you looked at Torque, people have that ability versus other North American MDL teams, but an international pro league roster, it's just not there.
Correct. So we were just waiting for 3 players to get ready. Actually, they are now, ladies and gentlemen, so thank you for your patience. We were patient as well. So let's hop into the first map, OpTic Gaming versus Torque here on Cash. Let's look at OpTic Gaming's roster, who decide to start off here on the CT side, composed of Mixwell, Magic Boy, Alu, HS, and Freiburg. And for Torque, we have 4Shot Steel, A2Z, Monte, and TCK. Welcome, guys. And it is the start now of an exciting weekend here at the CyberPower Gaming Extreme Series Championship. So pistol round now underway. What do you see right now, Scrawny?
Right away, we're looking at Freiburg with the Kit Smoke. And interestingly enough, it's not going to be the retake A setup that some would often observe. It's the retake B setup. And an aggressive push from these two CTs straight into A main. Armin waiting on the other side's instantly removed. HS and Alu no better than to continue this flank. They're just going to fall back and try to enjoy this 5v4.
Yeah, and it seems that they were expecting that. 4Shot and Steel were still waiting towards Useless as well. They weren't looking to find any information towards B main or towards A yet. They were trying to hold towards spawn, but I don't think that they expected 2 guys pushing out of A main. Because of that now, they're going to try to fall back and looking for an A execute. So they have a smoke and a flash to probably smoke for that cross. And that's Steel looking for information towards its mid side. Oh, he gets a nice goosh onto Mixwell, though. This might be the call soon for them to execute, but again, they have 2 guys inside the site, very healthy for OpTic Gaming.
Yeah, especially Alu, who's currently playing a spotting position just underneath the Shroud boost. He does decide to fall back right before Torque round that corner, so I don't believe he had too much information. Or maybe he did see their sliver, because Mixwell does come off of mid. He's replaced by Magic Boy on a full bar of health, but not for long. Down to 1 HP already, as again the Gush connects. The smoke to cover the cross, and Steel opening up with a 2K flank. The CTs, they're going to get pinched here.
The Glocks are strong right now for Torque. Mixwell from Connector is going to be able to take down TCK. He's going to be the last man standing. Sorry, he's up towards that truck. So Steel and Monte. Steel is moving up here towards this highway side. He's the one that got the entry. He's given a chance now for Torque to move in and get the bomb plant. Monte with a P250. Steel still has a smoke. And Mixwell is lurking inside this A bomb site. But now I think it's planted safely inside the A bomb site right now. So they have to actually look for that peek in the fight. So Mixwell with the fake first. Monte's going to peek out. What a flick for the headshot. And then finally Steel connects for a 4K on top of that on the pistol round.
Oh, Jesus, that was scary.
Yeah.
When Mixwell connects that headshot, you're thinking Steel's still in the bottom of highway. I mean, even the fact that we watch Mixwell get to the bomb site with no kit, mind you, but Steel all the way towards white box mid. They had no clue really what was going on there. They had no idea as to where he could be. So Monty's just going to play that under Shroud position. Very informational play. You're not going to be ever spotted genuinely unless you peek out. And that's exactly what he does, right? Just making sure that that bomb can't be stuck. Takes a bullet to the face very quickly. Disgusting headshot by Mixwell.
Yeah, because
ultimately, great pistol.
Monte came out of that spot and was like, I have the shot. Mixwell's back was faced towards Monte, and Monte was spraying that P250. Unfortunately, nothing connected. And then that was just a sick reaction shot from Mixwell. Nonetheless, though, the pistol round still comes underway in favor of Torque. We had a slight pause just to get I'm a Pet into the coaching position on the CT side. It is some sort of a buy here for OpTic Gaming, all with no armor. Mixwell starting things off quite well on the B side with a headshot onto TCK.
Yeah, aggro peek right there takes the man off of backyard, and that's going to now allow for HS to start this flank. He is the one player with Kevlar, so aim punch not going to be much of an issue. But you'd think that Torqued at this moment would then just walk away from B, try to get away from that single scout, especially now that the ump belongs to HS. But the CTs rotate over, Mixwell included, trying to find another shot as Freiberg picks up his gun. 4Shot's not going to commit here, and Monty's going to get closer towards doors, so he could swing this out, he could find another man towards site. While they do see Torque coming this direction, they've yet to fully commit.
I really like the idea, because after getting that first kill towards the B side, you rotated the scout all the way towards A. HS already moved forward towards Toxic side, so there's so much information. They know that the execution is happening towards A. Only thing, though, I wasn't sure if they should have peeked there early towards that A main. That being said, we are executing towards the A bomb site now for Torque. There's a smoke on the cross, 4 shots at the forklift. Freiberg's fully blinded at the A bomb site as well, and they're looking for some cover. There's 2 guys in there. It's going to be Freiberg, and it's going to be Alu. Alu salvaging the scout, taking one down, traded back by Steel, and we've now cleared out the A bomb site for the plant with 30 seconds left in the round.
Situation, though, very low health on all 3 players. Not to mention HS flank has finally arrived. And he's going to swap back to the sidearm. Tackles 4Shot, but he can't get the kill. That's a missed opportunity if I've seen one. It took so long there for Torque to finally entry into the bomb site. Those 2 CTs doing a good job of keeping them at a distance and allowing HS to rotate over. But when his rotate doesn't net him a frag, that suddenly leaves it down to just Magisk, who already kicks it off with 1. Steel and A2Z both tagged, and now it is just Josh himself. He fires a shot off, and Magisk nearly finds the kill, but he doesn't have the time. That's a second round to Torque.
I'm giggling like a schoolgirl. You see him staying towards the truck as well. He's trying to run in to see if he can pick up the AK, but it's going to be a UMP that he picks up instead. But that's what I was going to say. He stayed towards the truck, looking for that econ damage, looking for the exit kills, hopefully that the bomb radius is going to blast that AK towards his side. Great way to actually make it a little bit more expensive for Torque for winning that round, but it was still an investment purchase from OpTic Gaming on our previous one.
Of course, Magisk still hangs on to his Kevlar. He's got the ump. He's got a deagle on Alu as well. And it looks like Alu wants to play aggressive this round. Could peek and pry into A main where 4Shot looks to hold. Fully committed, though, to this corner right now. And here comes Magisk, going to peek out even further. But he's unable to get his kill. He actually drops his gun. Alu still showing himself, could also fall. The wall spam will convince him back.
Yeah, they are playing this A main peak very aggressively since that pistol round. It'll be interesting to see if that's going to be the case for once the gun round comes in. If they're actually going to leverage Alu to maybe even peek a lot towards A main with an AWP. But so far, things will remain calm. Let's just focus on this one so far with just pistols across the board for OpTic Gaming. Alu with a Deagle armor. And A2Z trying to take this mid control. We're shifting things around, though, for Torqued. We're going to move up and try to group up and execute towards B at this point.
Still a player fully committed to the bottom of the vent. That's Mixwell. Steel's looking to lead the charge. Full utility on his belt. And a near full team behind him. Only A2Z towards mid. Mixwell hearing a lot of presence. Starts to fire off. Takes 2. Nice pistol play to swing it to the 3v3. But Josh saves the day with a 2K of his own. And that's going to leave Freiberg and Alu now in the clutch. They've got the T's boxed in. Freiberg's not willing to push. Not just as of yet, because Alu's still flanking here. And if he can get into position in time, then they could still get some more damage done.
That's right. But they're still setting up on this post plant. Only now has the smoke started to dissipate towards that tree side. So that is actually a lot of time wasted on that bomb going down. So you see them setting up on these exits. Pretty much what we're expecting right now. Alu hears a few footsteps as he's holding towards the sunroom. A2Z's getting towards him with TCK. It's going to be a 3-man exit. He gets the first one here. Don't think he'll connect with more. Indeed, he won't. Freiberg will save this UMP. But I gotta say, that was a nice round being played for OpTic Gaming despite only having pistols. HS playing towards that Heaven side with the shoulder peek, making himself known that he's there, focus on me at Heaven. Mixwell just hiding on that corner of the checkers, but he waited for a very long time. And I think what really helped him as well was a mistake smoke that was thrown from Torqued that was trying to smoke what looked like towards Heaven, but it just bounced on the top of the entrance of the B-bomb site, which made them like, oh, holy crap, we actually can't see anything. So they're just focusing towards that bomb site to try to get an entry, and then Mixwell came out for that double.
You asked me about the double op setup, Vans, coming into this game, and we've already spotted it now.
Yep,
Mixwell beat the C's as they start to filter through. That's already one down, make it a double. Mixwell nearly taking a third, but TCK will jump across and find himself the frag. However, here comes Alu, the primary opper of the team. So not even the primary op with Mixwell, and he already gets 2 kills. We know, of course, he was pretty adamant when he joined OpTic about being able to now switch back to the rifle role. Always said how while he's good at the op, he doesn't necessarily enjoy it. And I'm sure he enjoyed that 2K to kick off the gun round between these teams. HS with the 4th, Alu with the 5th. First gun round done and dusted.
And you see it from Mixwell too. I mean, there's 3 guys coming towards him. There's a smoke, and he has confidence. He's oozing confidence. Despite them throwing mollies and still pushing forward, he still wants to engage and bring the fight. For me, I believe it's because he probably didn't have enough time to go back and find a secure place. So might as well take as many as you can before getting a drop on your own. So he's able to take down 2, almost landing on that 3rd shot, but wasted enough time for his teammates to rotate over. That was an easy round for OpTic Gaming to win. They're going to try to work very aggressively for Torque this time on this 5th round to just try to make a presence towards B. Could be a fake, but they hear a lot of reloads, a lot of things being thrown from HS holding towards that box. He spots the first one, takes down TCK. It's looking to get traded out, but he's still staying alive and well.
Ooh, near half flashed. HS still stuck behind the boxes, and the pistol's almost working. 7 HP. Down he drops, and now it's all on Monty. Of course, if he had a primary weapon to play, I'd maybe give him a chance in this, but he's going to have to work to grab a gun. And they're on the other side of this gap. Not currently being watched. Freiburg playing passive, just holding off on the 2nd doorway. Does get a little ambiguous here. Moving between his angles. He's waiting for Magis to flank, spots Monty. And Monty's yet to commit as Magis continues to creep in. He's got the backside. This round's over. As OpTic Gaming control another B-site strike.
They bought down as a team. There was only an AK that was purchased by Steel. They bought down to about that... I think it was like the 1,000 mark or so because they lost 2 rounds in a row, $1,900. Actually, they bought even lower than that. So I guess they were in a situation where like, okay, well, let's try to make some damage as much as we can for some guns on OpTic's end, which you could see on their end. They bought all the way down to 2K at this point. They lose this round here. There's a potential of a broken buy or just a full save with pistols for OpTic Gaming for Torque to just bring it back onto their end. So you'll be on another save for Torque at this point. But the full gun round is going to come through, and then that econ's pretty much going to be pretty much reset and leveled on both sides. Because I don't see Torque winning this pistol save.
Yeah, no, but they'd love to get this bomb plant. And seeing as it is that solo A-hold, maybe they find it. The 2 players on highway could just spam smokes and like slay this entire push. Or hell, why doesn't Magis just get a headshot straight through smoke? Here comes Freiburg, and Alu joins him. That's what we're talking about. An instant slaughterhouse on the A site. Now, coming into the map, Vans, I said, of course, right? Torque might have a chance here if they can pick up some pistols, if they can use some economy, but they had that pistol round, very convincing at that. It's once we get into these gun rounds, once we get the op advantage playing into the hands of OpTic, that I really think Torque's going to start to struggle. So I still expect a respectful scoreline, but you can't tell me that since the guns have gotten rolling, these rounds haven't gotten even more convincing.
Definitely.
Think of the fight they were able to put up OpTic even when they had just pistols. Like, those conversion points were not easy.
I totally agree with you on top of that, but the one thing for me for Torqued is that they haven't actually built that economy enough to actually get an AWP on their end. 4Shot hasn't had a chance to actually get an op to actually go for a sniper rifle battle for mid control or an entry towards B. So I think we still have to wait maybe, hopefully, a few more rounds for Torque to be like, okay, we have finally enough economy Let's try to see what we can do with it. So far, though, 4Shot doesn't need the AWP. He's got the AK for an entry onto Freiburg, but he's down at 6 HP. Magis Boy playing a good spot here, just like he did before. You start seeing OpTic Gaming switching over a little bit, playing this a little bit more passively when they're trying to hold their A side. And then once they win this fight, you see them start moving a lot more aggressively, trying to get that information. As Magis Boy, again, you can see it. He's looking towards A main from that minimap. He doesn't spot anything there. He's like, okay, well, it's clear. They're looking for that mid control. They're looking for the B side. And you see them all readjusting throughout the round. It's great communication from OpTic so far.
Yeah, it's very proactive defense. And I think that's the kind of Counter-Strike that's being afforded to OpTic when Torqued are playing this kind of a slow, methodical play. I praise the fact that Torqued has method to their madness when it comes to like Premier level CSGO here in North America. It's something that's definitely a massive advantage for them in those moments. But versus a team like OpTic, they're going to be willing to take risks. They're going to be able to come in with that level of confidence that lets them play ambitiously as seen. But it's the flank versus Steel that nearly catches him, forces him back into the crosshair of Mixwell, who will take him down. And now we've got OpTic back in control here. 1 point lead after losing the pistol and the following conversions.
That's right. So ever since that first gun round, Torque has yet to find a chink in the armor of the defense for the CT side. Now finally we're going to see them buy a little bit more respectively. $2,500 here for 4Shot. They lose this round here, $3,400. He's going to be able to get the op right after. So I really want to see how they're going to utilize the AWP on their end on the T side. So with this pistol, they're going to focus again on this A bomb site. They do have a smoke for Steel, who's going to smoke towards that cross, and then they're going to plow it towards the A bomb site. There's still a flash, but they haven't used it. They still get entries though, no matter what, and clear out the A bomb site. That's amazing.
3 quick frags, and Steel's able to get the M4. That's going to focus now OpTic back towards Truck. Now, 4Shot and Monty, they've gotten 1 gun at least, and Steel is instantly removed. So, 4Shot, low HP, Monty on the full bar, catches another headshot and knows where Mixwell is, but he's got his off, and he gives up his side, flicks for 4Shot, and takes it down to a 1v1. 24 health is all he's got, though. So, Torqued find another round.
Unfortunate whiff for 4Shot, but thankfully Monte was there. Monte with the M4 that he picked up. That execution to get into the A bomb site, for me, seemed very standard. But just the way that they overran OpTic Gaming, I don't think on their end expected that type of such an aggressive push. All towards quad, even towards the left side of the site. They just ran through that. They thought nobody was going to play towards the car. And it really caught Magis Boy off guard there. So they get a nice win off a pistol buy. And that brings the economy down very low for OpTic Gaming. This is buying down to 0. Double op setup, fairly low utilities for the CT side.
These AWP picks have been so successful for OpTic, though. It feels like every single round they come in with a double op, they're at least able to catch the 5v4. And even if they have that single op, it seems like that AWP is in the right position to hold off versus the initial pushes. So it's either we see Torqued executing with only 4 players, or Torqued immediately losing a player when they finally decide to push. And more notably, to me, it's the fact that Mixwell's been primary opping over all of these last few rounds. I mean, we've seen the double op enough to say it's not like it's a massive change.
Yeah.
But when one op is on OpTic and it's not in the hands of Alu, that's very curious in my eyes.
And I was looking at how 4Shot was playing the op for this round here. He just stayed towards T-spawn to watch for a B push. So they never used it to an advantage to try to get an entry. So there's no really of that op battle, but at least he gets one towards this A bomb site, and then a trade coming through towards the mid side to weaken up any type of base for a split. Alu with a nice flick shot from the Squeaky, traded back by a 4Shot though. They do have a 1-man advantage for OpTic Gaming, 30 seconds left on the clock. They could still move in, try to get a few entries before they go for a plant. Through the smoke, A2Z gets the kill onto HS, so it's a 2 versus 2. Freiburg's already committed inside the site though. Surprise, he's spotted now, but he still loses the fight, speaking about A2Z. But 4Shot connects with a 3rd. He's looking for the 4th, misses the shot. I don't even think it went out, but now Freiburg's on the top. He does not get the flick shot. Freiburg wins that 1 versus 1, and OpTic Gaming survives that round, but a very, very expensive win.
Oh, that's such a frustrating moment there for 4Shot. I mean, you have to give him props. He single-handedly cracked open that A bomb site, coming out, finding the player on the back of quad, peeking wide and removing the man off highway and taking that rotator. If A2Z had crossed the site and tried to plant bomb, maybe he stays alive. But had 4Shot actually fired off his weapon up close like that,
yeah,
that's a kill and a half. Unfortunately, he switches to the sidearm. Maybe didn't feel confident taking that gun duel. And by the time he switches back, it was the red box boost that bamboozles him. But Steel, oh my, catches Mixwell on an aggressive push through smoke. One of the only 2 guns coming into this round from Torqued, and it's already netted a third. TCK, he picks up that FAMAS.
That was perfect, though. It was a great pop flash. 2 of them were blinded, but then Steel came in from useless to keep them alive and save their team. But now they lose the op from the Toxic side. Somebody else could still come pick it up, and that should be Steel. So he's going to come across, pop flash, 2 guys blinded. I think they only know that there's 1 maybe towards the A main, now 2 after that molly's being thrown. So they do have a bit of map control, a little bit of information, but on the other end for OpTic Gaming, they decide to retreat all the way back towards the A bomb site. If they actually keep HS in here and he keeps spamming, throwing his flashes and keeping them honest, they might want to have Torque rotate back towards the A bomb site where they had a stack. But again, they're still rotating back and forth here, Scrawny.
Yeah, lots of ambiguity so far, at least in this round. 40 seconds left to play with. We're going to watch Armin throw out his last smoke, barely covers the vision of Alu, so he hits himself the leg. But at least it's onto Monty. That's the only player to the T side who doesn't have a gun. And A2Z wants to crack checkers open. Oh, HS, he gives up his angle, gives up his life, and gives up the man advantage. Alu and Co. down to just 3, but Alu holds the cross. The shot goes astray, and it's the wide peak from heaven. Able to drop 2 bodies as Freiburg leaves Magisk 1v2, but look at the health, Vansili.
That's right, 6 seconds left, they'll get the plant. 21 and 17 respectively for Monty and A2Z. Magisk boy, very healthy, but no utility, so he's going to have to body peek, and he looks at the wrong angles to go for that double peek from the B bomb site, and they win this round against OpTic Gaming, which will reset their economy.
That was a couple of missed shots. We see the Opera inside of mid give up the leg shot only. I mean, at least he hits his target. Alu onside the bomb site misses his. If it wasn't for Freiburg's wide swing and the catching of those 2 players, then that would have been a convincing win from Torque. So all of a sudden here, we've got ourselves back to the 5-5. We've got, you know, rounds being tossed back and forth, 3 in a row now going unconverted. And more importantly, we finally have OpTic not on primary guns. It is the double Deeg, double P250, and the 5-7 for Freiburg. 2 sets of Kevlar, no kit, no nades. This is a nice slow round for Torque to just play out. Let them use their utility on an execution when the time comes. And if they can even find a 5v4 beforehand, they'll be even better off.
They're playing a very big gamble at the same time. HS is playing by himself at that single box at the entrance of B. He played it very well the last time. He got 3 kills, but that's when he had a rifle and also the pistol to try to hold up as much as he can. If he's going to get pushed on the B side, that's pretty much over. The B bomb side is open. So they really want to count on HS to just try to hear for some information while they just stack towards the A bomb side, now taking control of mid side for OpTic Gaming and pushing forward to try to see if they could catch Torque. But Torque on the other end, you see it again. 4 shots opping all the way from spawn, but they're pushing towards T mid, and they're gonna... Oh, he gets the dig out to steal. Almost got that double kill there, but at least they spotted that bomb on the ground as well. Alu's about to peek out, catching Steel off angle as well. And that is a turn of events here.
Yeah, especially with 35 seconds left, because the CTs continue to play actively. Magisk boy comes in with a wide swing from Squeaky. The boost from Alu's coming up and over, and it's down to just Monty and 4-shot. We have the 4th player pushing in, that's HS, but down he goes. An open route straight to the B site, that could be a problem. They have to control on vents. Mixwell already drops down, D in hand, and body shots connect. Alu finds another, and this leaves it just on Monty. 24 health, 10 seconds to the clock.
Oh my god.
Down he goes. If Torque can win with pistols, then so can OpTic, and on a crucial round at that.
Might as well just play pistols for the rest of the game, because that seems to be the gun that connects the most, or the guns that connects the most here for either team. But that aggressive push that they had towards that mid side, yes, Torque played very passively, but I think they played it way too passively, because you don't really have anybody watching it from useless to get that information that there's guys pushing towards mid. So if they're going to try to go for a wide swing towards this mid side, you're going to have to basically go for a flick if you're not watching that angle anymore. And that's how they got caught towards that T mid. But at least now it's pistols for Torque, trying to sell a fake towards his B bomb site. Already you see a rotation coming through. So 3 guys are currently at B. They're going to even reboost towards mid. That is so interesting here. So that's going to be a weak side here on Catwalk. Alu's not even looking at that angle. Seal's going to try to catch him, but he still kills him with the op. Unfortunate there with the CZ long range to not connect. And that's probably going to give the cue for the rest of the guys to say, all right, screw it. Let's just go into this A bomb site. So Monte opens the door, moves in, and they come into opposition in the form of Magic Boy. He's going to volley on the ground to prevent him from getting a good bomb plant. But it's actually a little bit too far, so Monte will be able to get it.
Yeah, and Alu's going to have to clear White Box. Pistols off versus TCK. Mixwell helps out. Magis pushes on Fork, catches Armin, and a second frag to Monty. So 4-shot, 1v4. Up close with the CZ. Takes a man with him. Decent enough round for Torque. They're back to, you know, curbing the economy. Finding little victories within these lost rounds. But that's ultimately not going to be enough. You know, they've gotten 5 rounds to the T side. They are still moving forward here. We mentioned that it would be a struggle, and that is what we've seen. So, unfortunately for Torque, the bomb plant's not enough. They're not going to get back in with another gun round just yet, and this is going to allow for OpTic to continue their advantage.
And it's good, too, to see that Matches Boy stayed alive that whole round on the A site. Despite them having 3 guys push from the squeaky door, he still found the good angles to just creep around on the left side of the site, going towards the forklift, getting that quick 2K. So he basically single-handedly flanked the team to make it a lot easier for OpTic Gaming to turn around and win that round quite easily. If not, that was 2 or 3 guns down. Expensive buys coming in from OpTic Gaming, where they could, again, get potentially reset. If Torque actually had that last kill, I wouldn't be surprised if you see them on a force buy, because they would have had 2 or 3 guys able to buy AKs.
They know a man's out towards Vent, but Alu, he wants the closer targets first. Swaps to the sidearm. TCK drops bomb. The spray connects, and Steel tap down to 28. Alu's just going to go charging forward. His CZ was empty. He threw away his op. He was genuinely going to chase that knife kill.
And not try to give the op to Steel. I like that. It's like, all right, guys, just, if anything, trade me off, save the op for the next round, but let's just keep him busy, because Steel probably spent all of his bullets with the CZ as well, trying to win that fight against Alu. So I see his reasoning behind there, and even smarter to, just in case that Steel still had bullets, he won't be able to pick up an op and try to turn it around over. Well, you do have HS now. Looking towards mid, he saw a few guys come out from that smoke, so it was very aggressive for Torque to start things off and to really gain that mid control without a wall of smokes. It was a flash through the default smoke from the CT side of the entrance of mid. They got control of that. They even got a kill onto Mixwell from TCK. And it's really weird how I said Mixwell's his name, but I meant to say Mixwell.
HS going to be pinned in sight. He's got Freiberg to rotate over. Not going to peek out from heaven this time around. He sits to the lower side. And right now we still have Steel over towards the A side. He's able to catch another entry. Freiberg removed, and HS comes out with 1. Still stands on site until 4-shot hits the body. And Alu nowhere to be found. Still lingering over towards the A site. Really cool play there by Torque, grouping 4 players up on B, leaving Steel to, again, pry into the opposite site, keep these players committed, and find himself at least a kill in the process. Even if you can just slow down the rotation and then hit that bomb site at the very same time, you can see how quickly it crumbled with Alu on the opposite side. So really well done here by Torque, and they've got themselves a 6th round. This half could still be as close as possible.
Oh yeah, 6 rounds on T side so far against a team like OpTic Gaming. Can't take anything away from Torque right now. Just the way that Steel played that lurk was really perfect. And now Alu is at a point where he's trying to save this op, but they are slowly trying to hunt him down. So just trying to see the economy on Torque's end, and they don't really have that much money actually to afford going up against Alu, so they're going to let him save it. On the other end, you could still have a drop come in from Alu, so you'll see a buy coming through from OpTic still. But this is, no matter what, the last round of the first half, but I'm just trying to see what the economy was going to be like coming in for the team. So being able to save that op actually gives them a chance to even go for a double op for OpTic Gaming side on this last round. It worked before here for Torque to just run through towards this mid side with the pop flash, but this time they say no, because they're actually greeted by Freiberg and Alu instead of just HS. Now, a few of them fall down, already a third. It is quick, just like that, a 5-on-2 situation with a bomb down out in the open. Actually, it's on the top of the boxes.
See, so I think this is an example of the types of rounds we've gotten so far this half. You have moments where Torqued are able to kind of grind out a win, get themselves enough enough kills to take it down to those 2v2s or 3v3 moments, and then you have other rounds where out of nowhere OpTic just pummel Torqued. Which is what you could argue we would have expected more often than not coming into this series. But I'm both happy and proud for Torqued in the sense that they've made this competitive. 9-6 is the half that's decent enough to, maybe win another pistol, work with it after. We said that the pistol rounds were going to be one of the key variables to their potential upset, and now they definitely need both.
That's right. So let's see if Torqued has what it takes on the CT side to actually make this a close game, if not win the first map, or can OpTic Gaming continue on? Let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll resume the second half.
My name is Trick2G, and I use CyberPowerPC powered by Intel. Let's go!
So the first half has come to a close, the second about to unfold. It is, of course, Torqued versus OpTic Gaming, and we have ourselves a 3-point lead to the Europeans here of OpTic. Really solid half already from OpTic in the sense that Alu's 18 and 9. The Op in his hands was really coming to life, and Mixwell as well, sitting with 14 frags. So I don't think with OpTic there's this like one standout player as of yet. It's just been a nice team experience as far as they're concerned.
For sure. On the other end here, Steel, the in-game leader, top fragging for Torqued, doing as much as he can, and you got to take 4 of those kills from that pistol round as well. And can they do this on the CT side? As now OpTic Gaming are taking this mid control and trying to split towards this A bomb site. But it starts off with A2Z and 4-shot, double headshots with USPs, but quickly traded out. Bomb is down. Steel also gets dropped by HS. Back to a 2 versus 2. Bomb is now open for them to plant.
Ooh, wide swing from Monty. Not enough to catch the man on the bomb. Magus gets to cover. And HS sits inside sight. TCK tapped, and Monty dies next. That's OpTic with a pistol. Very nice try by Torqued there. They set up in a cool position with both A2Z on the back of quad and Steel inside the fence. It was a big play position from Steel where he was looking to catch them off guard. They thoroughly clear the corner, and he gets peeked by 2 guys at the same time, doesn't find a frag, and because of that, the whole pistol strategy kind of crumbles. Nice attempt, however, but this is now OpTic with a nice bout of momentum that they could just ride to the finish line. Looking at that 12-6 if the conversions go cleanly.
Oof, poor shot, but at least it's traded out. He gets a nice dig onto Magic Boy, retaliating from that first half, but Alu there with the AK, and this is what I find interesting for OpTic Gaming. Usually, oh, what a nice one-tap there as well, onto the face of Steel. Maybe another one? Yeah, why the hell not? I'm just gonna let it go. Scrawny, just take this.
Let's just let Alu do his thing. My god. 4K, 4 headshots, 2 of which were with 2 bullets. So now Armin's on the other side of the map. He should just hide. Just whatever you do, avoid Alu.
You've invested money already, right? That's $1,000 for a head armor and armor. $300 for the P250 and another $300 for the smoke. So he's going to try to save as much as he can here because Alu single-handedly just opened that round and won it for OpTic Gaming. And it was a nice idea for Torqued. They tried to take that mid-control, have a lot of guys come through, but they were streaming down one by one on that headshot box, and it was just easy for Alu to take him down. And what I was going to try to say is, usually on the second round, you see a lot of guys just trying to buy submachine guns to try to build up the economy, and if they lose the gun, it's not so bad because they haven't invested that much into those weapons. And if they were actually to give the submachine guns to Torqued, they could still bring it back on another different type of buy, submachine gun versus submachine gun. But they went all out AKs, and it pays off in the end for Alu.
That's something that's really cool with Alu and Mixwell, right? Is like, you don't think of Alu as a rifler over the op, but when he does pick up that gun, he's definitely formidable with it. And you could say the same for Mixwell. He was looking forward to getting back on rifles, and while I think he is better off with the op, just because his op play is sick, not that there's a weakness in his rifles, it gives this roster of OpTic a lot of depth. That's one of their biggest strengths, I would argue. But it's over here towards mid that HS will attempt to pull an Alu, tapping the heads of the men on white box. Frag grenade bounces back, and the bomb just goes pushing forward.
That's right. It's a 5-man stack for Torque there towards that mid side. They're like, okay, well, Alu maybe might want to try to do it again. This time he's actually lurking. Catches him on a rotation as well. Close range battle, inside checkers. They're all dropping like flies. Another 4K for Alu in this round here. Easy picking for him. So that's 8 kills in 2 rounds, just farming the AK. Now you could even drop it for somebody else if you wanted to, so you could buy the op.
Will HS pick one up? No, he's going to go straight to the AK. So no op play from OpTic in their gun round to the T side. And Torqued immediately going to arm 4-shot with his cannon.
Yeah, I think at this point you've built so much economy that this becomes like quote unquote the bonus round for them. Usually, again, bonus rounds are with submachine guns where you want to move forward, but they barely lost any players in the last 2 rounds. That it's okay for them to just go with full rifles and just open up together for the team. So 3 guys towards mid side, 2 guys at Sunroom. You'll soon see this mid to B split with only 2 guys holding it inside there in the form of TCK and Monte.
Ooh, TCK is going to be pinned in. Pop flash goes over. Mixwell fully blocked. Alu peeks out, takes the headshot, and clears up the B site. OpTic Gaming able to find an isolated CT defense. They had no mid control in that round whatsoever. They completely forfeited over, and it works out to their favor. They're able to keep 3 guys up, and you could argue that this is an immediate save. So I'm sure that Torqued were aware of this potential situation coming into the round. If you're able to isolate 2 groups of players per bomb site and you overwhelm one so quickly, it's just better off to take the hit. And you keep up your guns.
You just said it there, Scrawny. It was a very passive play for Torqued on that mid side, but not only that, they played it very passively towards B as well. They anchored 2 guys inside the site, and those mollies that were thrown from the sunroom basically gave no chance for Torqued to actually retaliate to try to cover and hold that B bomb site as much as they could. So they only got 1 kill out of that, and immediately the kill was from Alu keeping the push towards that tree top. Steel falls, unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's big. Steel going down. That's now just 2 guns move forward. Now, luckily, of course, 4-shot keeps his op, so the most expensive player is gonna still be well armed. There's not really enough cash to justify the buy around this. Would have been a whole other story had they kept that 3rd weapon, but actually, Steel goes with the Scout, curbs his cash down to $1,200. With a Deagle and P250 on TCK and Monty, there's still something to work with. It was a boost over the top of the smoke. It does tag Mixwell to 62 points of health, but as he crosses towards the vent, they've given up mid yet again.
Oh, sort of a bad smoke being thrown there, trying to take control of that Z side, just to keep them honest for the CTs. But Steel, after that tag, rotates back towards the quad. He's getting pushed out from that molly. They're going to hear him running away as Matches Boy is currently posted up towards that squeaky door. But Steel is still trying to go for those wide peaks instead of playing the angles just to try to get that information. He gets caught from an AWP from Alu. Now 3 guys at truck side. Flash coming through. Everybody's going to drop. That's pretty much it. 4-shot with the AWP. Trying to save it, but Mixwell does the drive-by.
They're just making this look so clean at this point. Obviously, with Torqued to the T side, it was up to them to set the pace, and we saw some of those slower rounds early on. A lot of respect and method being utilized in their executions, whereby now OpTic have just changed things up. They've been able to take mid-control for free since the start of these gun rounds, and from there, we're just watching them collapse into bomb sites, and now Torqued have their money back underneath them. So this is going to be their one chance to maybe swing things back, and they absolutely have to. 14-6. Time is of the issue.
That's right. So it's going to be a gun round coming in for Torqued. Pretty much their last stance right now because they bought all the way down to 0. Losing this round here, they'll only be at $3,400. It's going to be a very low buy and a very steep uphill battle to climb to be able to bring this into overtime. So they have to win this round with the least amount of casualties as possible. And it starts off very badly with 4-shot falling from the hands of Alu.
Mixwell with another 5 versus 3. It's going to take a big individual play from someone on this B site to hold off the bomb, to hold off OpTic, as the entirety of their team starts to fixate over. HS nearly clears the site. Fire of Freiburg. TCK dropping 3. Headshots connect, and all of a sudden it's down to Alu. He could get flanked because now he works his way back through the vent. He's got full utility to play with, but 2 targets to find.
Man, that snack spot is deadly for some of the players, depending how you play it, and TCK just did such a good job keeping it alive here for Torqued. Steel was playing towards the sunroom, saw the last guy coming in from the vent side to get the last kill. So it's going to be 14-7, but so much money right now still on the board for OpTic Gaming. We're forcing drops on top of that for Torqued. They're still not out of the frying pan here for the CT side, but they are going for this double op setup on their end.
Maybe anticipating some kind of fast AK play. Double op setup's great for trying to hold back that initial aggression. So this buy could certainly work out from Torqued. And we saw it last weekend at the Cineplex event, the World Gaming Championships, where they did use this double op between Steel and 4Shot to win a lot of their CT rounds. So we'll see if it pays off. Towards the B site, flashbangs connect, bodies start to trickle in. TCK taking only 1. As 4Shot has yet to find another. Smoke grenade blocks him off. The CTs come over. But where did Torqued go from here?
Well, now that they have a bomb plan as well, it's going to be a tough retake. They haven't actually posted anybody inside the side. Mollies are keeping them back as well. Even another one here. I think at this point, you're not even going to try anything. If you don't get a kill in the next, like, 5 seconds, you're going to try to save your gun or your guns in play for overtime. You can see them posted right now. They're just looking for exits, anything that they can. All 4 of them are trading. So this is going to be map point for OpTic Gaming against Torqued. At least they hopefully come out with 4 guns in the end. You can see it, right? Actually, they'll be fine. Everybody's exiting out from B main. Okay, never mind. Steel just got killed here from Alu, who's looking around towards his B side, or mid side. He's looking for the hunt. He's still pushing towards the CT spawn. It's even smoked out to try to keep the remaining guns alive. And they will be able to do so.
One of those moments whereby, you know, TCK is in a full commitment position again, kind of behind, like, the orange box on B site. And unfortunately for 4Shot, he just gets convinced back. I mean, it makes sense for him to try and stay alive. That's arguably always important. But because they take down so few players when OpTic push forward, again, you saw it. The Molotovs block off heaven, smoke blocks off lower, and Torqued, you know, they know not to fancy their chances. So it translates to 3 guns being pushed into this round, and then Torqued putting it all on the table. It's going to be an 8-round comeback if they make it happen. Though the chances are against them. Freiburg to entry into mid. Wall of smoke to help things out. And again, we watch Torqued just give this away for free.
But at least they're stacking a lot of their resources towards this B side. The execution immediately comes in. Mollies were thrown, but this time nobody's finally getting dropped here or pushed out of their positions for Torqued side. So they get 2 kills, quickly traded out, and the 3 guys are still alive. Only 1 still alive on the CT side. Now, it is a 2 versus 2. Rotation coming through from Steel, so it's him and 4Shot. They're going to let the bomb plant come down for OpTic Gaming, and then they're going to try to retake together.
It's planted for B main, and Freiburg starts to fall off, so he will have the after plant position as HS has to hold sight. Smoke grenade to block off lower. And again, now the utility kind of forcing an awkward retake attempt, but that was a nice nade. And Steel's going to go off the flash. Freiburg dodges it, but 2 quick kills from Torqued instantly found as they peek out simultaneously and get this retake rolling. I mean, sure enough, it's a long road ahead, but that's how it all starts with an 8th round of the board.
That's right. So 2 guys alive, $3,500 for TCK. 4Shot will be able to drop him. So they're going to be fine on money in terms of guns so far. Utilities should be okay as well, because Steel will be able to buy pretty much almost all the grenades needed. And they're going to push it out here for OpTic Gaming. They're going to try to do a little bit more differently here. They're going to take this mid-control aggressively again, but they're going to try to work towards this A-bomb site, which they have not done for quite a while. On the other end, Torqued was trying to play a little bit more aggressively to set a presence towards this mid side, but A2Z was on his own, got caught, and that's already 1 down. They have a great position right now for OpTic Gaming to go for an A split.
Ooh, steal. Almost finds Alu. Hits him down to 19 points of health, but it is 4-shot and PCK in a 2 versus 4. Some of these terrorists tag, but both of which have their job set out for them. 4 shots down to the clutch, instantly dropped out of the round, and that is map number 1, sliding the way of OpTic, and it's a landslide at that, 16-8. So consider that, you know, 3 of those rounds come off of Torque's initial pistol. That's 5 gun rounds in the entirety of the game, which just, unfortunately, is not what they wanted.
Yeah, I think when you're looking at the CT side, you mentioned it before as well, Scrawny. They did their part for Torque to actually read that mid control quite well against OpTic Gaming. But in the end, it comes down to the aim battles, right? We didn't really see any pop flashes coming through to try to take and assess control of mid side. Again, that's because they only had pistols, let's say, on that second and third round. Even the other gun rounds, once they started coming through, they started playing that very passively because they saw how OpTic Gaming was playing that mid side very aggressively. But it all comes down to sheer aim battle in the end because they had the right stacks at the right moments. They just couldn't win the fights. So Alu, even looking at it, 140 ADR at the end of this game, and that's not only from ops, that's from all the AK kills that he's gotten, from all the eco kills that he's gotten, even the exits as he's holding and actually going for hunts to prevent Torque from saving any guns, has been on point basically on this first map. He was ready to go. He was like one of the first players inside the game being, hey, can we just start this game? Can we actually go for vetoes? So for me, it seems OpTic Gaming is just ready to go and just storm through this whole series.
Yeah, definitely. I think also that when we watched the CT-sided setup there from Torque, where they forfeited mid-control, left either 3 or 2 players on each of the bomb sites at any given time, those are the kinds of defensive setups whereby you need to get a significant amount of frags when the terrorists come your way. When you lose those bomb sites and only pick up, 1 kill in the process, you have no close rotation because there is nobody mid, which means that, again, the retakes are always made that much more difficult. We saw the way that the utility after the fact just convincingly held on to the plants, and ultimately it was just torqued a little outclassed there on the CT side. But that is, of course, the first map done, and OpTic have chosen Overpass to come up next. So, of course, we now suggest you guys head over to the CyberPowerPC predictions page. You guys can also get in on the giveaways that will be unfolding this weekend. As per usual with these kinds of events, there's always lots of goodies for you guys to get your hands on. So spend your time wisely, enter in your opportunity. I'm sure the links are floating around somewhere. We'll be sure to let you know exactly where next time. This is, of course, map number 2 coming up next for the CyberPowerPC Championship.
Gaming is demanding, and streaming even more so. We pride ourselves in knowing what it takes to build a perfect system.
I've been gaming and streaming my entire life. I do it because it's my passion. The one thing my audience appreciates the most is the energy I bring to the table. And when I bring energy, that's when I connect with my audience.
Yo, Ro8 again, thank you for the 10 months, man. Appreciate the resubscribe.
Yeah, I get excited about the little things, like cache and IO improvements. We take a lot of time to make sure that every system we build maximizes performance. Now, with more cores and threads, the potential is so much higher.
So when I'm streaming, there's usually a lot going on. The last thing I want to worry about is my computer going down. Everything just has to work.
With more PCI lanes, we get a ton of headroom for graphics cards and SSDs. Intel's making it easy for us to give streamers responsive systems with more bandwidth, scalability, and overclocking potential.
To stay competitive, I gotta grind, I gotta stay sharp.
Gaming is going to be around forever, and we're always going to be there.
We're always practicing and pushing
until it's perfect.
My name is Tim, aka Tim the Tap Man, and I play video games on the internet. I would say if you come to my channel, for the most part, you're gonna see some sort of FPS getting played. I'm kind of the person that once I find a game I like, I sink my teeth into it. So for the past year, I've been playing Overwatch, and first-person shooter type of games is what you're generally gonna see. I've been playing those games, Counter-Strike, World of Warcraft, I mean, since I was 13, and then Overwatch has only been out for a year, but I have logged way too many hours into that game already, so the competitive nature of it, growing up, you know, played a lot of sports and stuff, and have that competitive kind of root in me, and I like to win, even though in my old age, I don't do that near as much anymore. Feel like I can't keep up with a lot of the young bucks out there playing now. I personally yell more than I probably should, if you ask people that, you know, live with me, but like, let's go, everyone! Like, you know, really excited about whatever. It has almost 2 meanings. You can do it in the pre or the post. So before whatever you're doing or after whatever you're doing, you know, it's perfect. Let's go! The reason that I started streaming was when I was in college back in 2013. I used to watch a guy by the name of Soda Poppin'. And I always thought, man, it's so cool. This guy's playing video games, people are watching. So basically, the root of it was, you know, I like video games and I like people. I like hanging out with people and I like video games. So I thought streaming kind of was a perfect mesh of those two things. So started doing it back in 2013, and you know, here we are today. Very, very gratefully. Becoming a streamer has changed my life in regards, well, to a couple different ways. One way I'd 100% say is just getting to connect with so many people on a personal level and meeting viewers that have been watching me, you know, for 2 to 3 years, you know, people that you've never put a face to, and then you go to an event and you can see these people and talk with them. It's a really cool feeling. But also, you know, I'm living the dream out too, you know. To be able to wake up and stream every day is a blessing, that 100%, you know. It's a dream I'm living out, and I can't thank people that, you know, watch enough. As far as tips for streaming goes, I think at the core of it, my first thing I always tell people is to have fun with it. If you're not having fun with it, it's gonna be a tough time for you. For me personally, CyberPower, if I have an issue with something, I can reach right out to them and they'll be on it. You know, I need obviously a reliable computer, but on top of that, you know, if something goes wrong, God forbid, they're gonna be right there to help me out with it. It's almost a security blanket for me. I love Intel. The reason that I trust Intel is because that's what I've been using for so long. It's like I grew up with them, you know? Back when I was 13, to put the first one in the computer, that's like a bonding relationship right there. And ever since that point, and having a good experience with Intel, I've not wanted to look away. Don't fix what isn't broken. You know, I'm very blessed to be in the position I am, very grateful that CyberPower, you know, wants to work with me, and I understand the position I'm in is a very, you know, fortunate one, and I'm very, very humbled to be able to do what I do, and I can't do it without you guys. So thanks so much, anyone watching the stream, whatever, supporting, appreciate you guys, man. My name is Tim the Tap Man. I use CyberPowerPC powered by Intel.
Back as map number 2 is now set to begin. Torqued versus OpTic Gaming, with of course that one map advantage already now belonging to OpTic as they picked up cash where Torqued wanted to play. We now switch over to Overpass where OpTic should be being able to play their game, and if we look at results as of late, you can't help but feel like OpTic have this. 16-12 victory over Splice, 16-14 victory over Misfits, and while you might think those are closer than not, those are two good Overpass teams, especially for Splice. It's their best map, whereby Torque, they already have I think like a 16-8 loss versus Gale Force. So it's going to be a tough one, but Steel kicks it off with a headshot. That's Alu down already. 4 shots still towards sight. Tries to tap off, but it's Monty. TCK, 4-shot Monty again. A kill feed for Torqued as they take an opening pistol a second time around.
That looked like it was gonna be bad news bears for Torqued because they went for that simple 4 guys stacked towards the B bomb site, 1 guy trying to lurk towards A. There was a nice pop flash that was thrown suddenly, though, in a rotation back as 5 guys from OpTic Gaming were streaming down towards that long A. And they lined up, I think, all 5 of them towards that wall, towards the long side with that pop flash. P250 connected with, like, 2 kills. But nonetheless, the rotation came... It was pristine for Torqued, the way that they took the retake on that site. So no bomb plants coming in for OpTic Gaming. They're going to go for a pistol buy for this round with armor as well. And this is what I talked about, the difference as on the second round. It's UMPs across the board with the exception of Monte with the M4. While on the other end for OpTic Gaming, you saw them with rifles already on that second round. So Torqued trying to build up the economy, trying to bring it up so they can get enough econ for a double op setup if they can. And it starts off well as Mixwell already fell.
The way Torque just came rotating up to the A site so quickly in that pistol, they just smothered OpTic before they even had a chance to find the plant. Alu again gonna hug that long wall, tries to creep up towards the site. The rest of the team gets into position. Steel to be pinched, but 4-shot, he bails him out with an opening frag. Steel's ump takes 2, and HS able to battle it back, but not for very long. Torque convert their point.
And Chaz, if you don't mind hitting tab for the scoreboard, I just want to let you guys know that on Torque's side, it is currently 4-3-2-1-0 in terms of kills. And you know what that means? It's the Care Bear countdown.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, man. I've been calling that since 1.6. Every time I see like a little nice OCD type of like scoreboard for kills, you always got to call it the Care Bear countdown. But yeah, HS got 2 kills with the Deagle. Again, all they lost were UMPs, so they didn't lose that much there for Torque. You could see them as they're buying M4s for the guys that lost a UMP, so that's Steel and TCK. So they still have a lot of firing power. That made OpTic they're forced on a full save because of that pistol armor buy that didn't pay off for them. So it's just going to be easy pickings for them into this round. Technically.
Yeah. Nice cleanups already. That's multiple frag grenades that have happened over the course of the last 2 rounds. So it just goes to show you, like, OpTic, they're not even able to get into position with a 5v5. The utility advantage of Torqued, not to even mention the guns, has really been the key of success. But OpTic seem to want to boost here. Freiburg's just been dancing on this railing. They don't have any utility. They don't have a flash to call this push. So it's a matter of time before these terrorists just come trickling in. And when they do so, they should die.
That's right. So Alu's making a bit of noise as you're hearing him jumping a little bit towards the short B side just to try to keep them honest and staying stuck towards B. So the last 2 guys, I thought were going to try to go towards A. But they're all going to group up through the connector, and they're going to go for a 3-man push towards this B side as Alu, as he keeps jumping around, hasn't really spotted anything. The only information that he has is that there was a pop flash that was thrown, but they have no clue of how many people are actually holding this B bomb site. And they tried to go for a run boost. They said, all right, it didn't work. Screw it. Let's just run in. And now that is 1, 2, and a third one to fall from A2Z and Monty working together.
Yeah, nice hold on the B site there. Just obviously with a massive advantage, but not wanting to let any kind of gain be taken over by OpTic. No frags, no bomb plant, no nothing. And that's exactly what unfolds. But the op of Alu is out already. 4 AKs surround it, and we're going to get the quote-unquote freebie round here from Torque, the double ump. And on a map like Overpass, the UMP is really not a limitation. You can position that anywhere on the map, really, and still be good to go, barring the long angles of Monster and Long A.
All right, so one of them is going to be towards the connector side, and that's 4-shot, and then A2Z with the other one was trying to play it towards the toxic barrels, but is going to pop flash for TCK and Monte to take control of the B side. So they won't see anything there. They expect something happening towards the A side, but they are pushed up so aggressively on A as well. So where's that information? It's going to be Steel spawning it first, and he falls down. Oh my god, that's 3 guys that pushed in towards me. They push forward, take down 4-shot as well. Now the A side is weakened. They have yet to pick up the bomb, but they're just going to clear out the site for the remaining guys. And the last one that was lurking around is going to be Magis Boy that's going to pick up the bomb to meet up with them towards A.
Oh, again, the frag kill, though. Nice throw by Monty. Now A2Z on close, up with the site. T side nearby. Freiburg spams the smoke, finds one, but TCK will trade. And we swing back to the 2v2. Alu nearly finding another op frag as the 45-second mark hits the clock. It's Armin cleaned up by Magisk. And TCK back to the clutch. Sprays, drops the bomb, but the nade so close, hits him to 6. Alu on the ACP. Oh, he picks it up. There we go. It's done. It's OpTic to the board, but a very back and forth round there.
And I like the little bit of a slight of change in terms of the playstyle for Alu. Not going to try to go for an op pick on a 1 versus 1, knowing where the last person is. He could just post up the angle and get the pick. He actually just dropped his op to pick up an AK-47 and go El Mano to El Mano, rifle to rifle, and still win that round. So you talked about in the first map here, Skarane, being comfortable with both the AWP and the AK. You could see it, just how comfortable he is throughout this whole series with any gun pretty much so far.
3T's creeping up through connector. Interestingly enough, Torqued have 2 guys on the opposite side. That's TCK and Monty moving within the water. So they're getting the information that B side is clear. And Steel's still pushed up on long. So at this moment, OpTic could have just trickled through the bathrooms into the A bomb site. That was the most open route. But it would, of course, been boxed in by the CT side. Now they're going to head up towards long A, and Steel might be tested.
That is such an interesting angle to take. But that is also because 4-shot is opping with the long side, covering pretty much short and long as much as he could. Now he's going to pop flash for Steel to peek out, and then can he get anything? So far, he does probably hear the scope coming in from Alu. The jump comes towards the top. The split shot is missed. He gets a double kill before his trade out by Mixwell, but that's a lot of information. They spotted the bomb as well. Already, TCK is going to rotate over. So they're going to put a lot of defense towards this A side. You do have Monte that's holding up towards the connector, so they have some great defense positioning. Now that's A2Z with 1. Traded back by Magis Boy. Avenged by 4-shot with the AWP. And now it's all up to Mixwell, picking up that op left behind from Alu to try to win a 3 versus 1.
Yeah, this round just boils down to the proper setup from the CT side. Steel was in a high-octane position. He had to come up with kills, and he gets that 2-for-1 to get things rolling. OpTic not having any connector control, having no presence over towards B. They realize that their chances lie with just committing to the A site. We see those players just get pinned in behind the flower pots, and that's when it comes down to the frag of 4-shot trading back onto Armin. So ultimately, CT side with a stellar hold, and it's OpTic to move that 1 op into the next round.
Yeah, and that's fine too. When Torque lost that round previously against OpTic Gaming on that 4th round, we did call that it was the freebie round because they only had UMPs. They lost it. They went back for rifles. TCK actually still had a UMP, probably because that was the only thing that he was able to afford. But as they finally get a full gun round coming through on that 5th round, again, it was about that setup, about the pop flash, about getting that information and Steel's position to actually get all that information for them. Now it's going to be the op that they kept. Magis Boy is going to force up with an AK-47, so they are buying all the way down as a team with whatever they can. The lowest mark is going to be Alu with $1,000 because he still wants to maintain as much as he can, move it into this save, potentially double save, so that he can get an op on the real gun round coming through. So Torque technically should not have any issues coming through, but we've seen how strong these guys could be with pistols again for OpTic Gaming when we first witnessed on Cash.
And the big difference with this round is that OpTic have control all across the map. So their play is going to be just much more informed once they decide to finally commit to whatever it is that they want. They've got, of course, Freiburg moving around the bathrooms. He hasn't found anyone until 4-shot takes his head. And now that he's dead, we might see the trigger pulled. We might see the T's push in. And the Molotov blocks it off. So no commitment can be made just yet. 50 seconds on the clock. And it's going to be the 3-man creep in monster. Monty immediately falls, and TCK can't trade because he falls back into the crosshair of Magisk. Now, our A2Z, Inside the site, Steel's rotating down. He needs to hold. Armin needs these frags, but he only finds one, and we're back to the 2v2 already.
2-on-2 situation, as you just mentioned. 30 seconds left on the clock, but 4Shot still connects with the AWP. So he's been on point so far on the A side and even on a rotation. Now with 20 left, at this point, Alu is probably going to try to save the M4. Moving over to the next. No, he's actually going to try to commit to try to get a bomb plant. So he's got the P250 out. He's running straight into the site and is just going to try to get a plant. It's actually going to be given. 4Shot's going to be able to hear it as he was rotating back from B to A. And Alu now is going to reposition himself still at the default spot, trying to make his way towards the headshot at Flower Pots. But Steel and 4Shot, all they have is a smoke. And Molotov and a flash. So the flash to pop in to move in. They still can't find Alu, so they're just going to have to play for the bait defuse.
It would make sense to Molotov back, but instead they go for stairs. Alu sprays for one, and 4Shot taps away to get himself the trade. The defuse comes through, and that's Torque now again with another round on the board. But considering the investment, considering the few weapons there that OpTic had to play with, we go back to cash, whereby, you know, even in the pistol conversion rounds, OpTic were putting up a fight. There's no round, despite massive weapon disadvantage, that OpTic aren't in, but they're not keeping competitive. And so you look in the long run, it should be a matter of time before that kind of consistency breaks through. It's going to be up to Torque to really, you know, stabilize here, start punishing these anti-eco rounds, and getting a lead established when they really should be.
4Shot tried to look for some information to start at the fountain side, but I think there was a smoke that prevented him from getting any whatsoever, so they're going to play it more passively now. You can see them all falling back towards the A-bomb side, even more passively towards B. A2Z still playing towards that back of that B-bomb side, and TCK is playing towards Graffiti, sort of giving a lot of room for OpTic Gaming to actually move forward and press, add some pressure into the site, wherever it's going to be, or pressure onto the map, rather. And it's going to be the first contact coming in towards A. Leg shot from 4Shot, but traded out by Steel as they're moving forward. Steel is looking to look for some cover, but that's Freiberg moving across. Runs out of bullets at the CC, unfortunately. Matches boy. And Alu trying to move forward. Pop flash to come across. Great play from Torque to play together for the retake. But they're still falling behind from the pistols. Now A2Z trying to look towards the bank side. Whiffs the spray. Now it's a 2 versus 1 just like that. Now TCK push forward. Baited out. Mixwell now knows where he's at. So it's going to be a double man trying to peek through. And TCK again, only with the smoke and only with the molly. And that's going to give a chance now for Alu and Mixwell. Mollying off towards the bank side to pick up the bomb and plant it and take the 2-on-1 advantage.
Alu's going to position himself over towards long. He has the M4 here. Mixwell still on the Deeg. Flashbang's going to allow for Alu to fade back. That's just time now bought. TCK wants to clear the corner, but he's chasing ghosts at this point. There's nobody there. Both terrorists over on bathroom. Smoke now on the bomb. He taps it first. Mixwell's forced to peek. Sees nothing for his efforts. But TCK is not on that bomb. And now time is the issue. He's going to get back on it. He's just going to try to commit. Holds it down to 2. And Alu executes through smoke. It is OpTic with only pistols to find another round.
That's insane. Because I think there was only Alu that had body armor, and everybody else only had pistol, no armor, and they could still win that. And you can see how the economy is now broken and shifted over to OpTic Gaming's advantage. Might even have to go down for like a double save coming through for Torque. So yeah, that's why you see them buying right now with whatever they have, because they have to be forced towards the issue for the double save.
I mean, we saw a round like that unfold in the second half of Cash that really led OpTic to just run away with the win. And that's the kind of outcome here and now that's now just going to switch back to this half. Unless Torque can get a freebie of a round as well, it's not looking good for them. A2Z is able to catch 1 kill in response, but it's 3 frags already for the OpTic camp. And Armin is tagged heavily as well. 4Shot with 69 health. And Armin on 7. Both CTs to the B site. T's inbound. HS crosses, clears the first. 4Shot yet to trade, goes out in fashion. 5-3 as OpTic come bouncing back.
All right. So another save is going to come through. The economy is going to come up for OpTic side. Even at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if any of them bought like a submachine gun and try to build that economy up even more. but I feel like in the end they didn't because they didn't need to, in a sense that they've won through from an eco before, so that economy is already built up quite well for OpTic Gaming at this point. And Torque is going to be forced on a full save with only pistols, so 4-shot and steel with P250 upgrades, and that's all that they have to their name in terms of a little bit more firepower than what you usually have with silenced USPs. Not even any flashes to go for any pop peaks, so they're just setting up close angles and setting up for trades.
As smoke begins to fade, Freiburg will retreat. Good idea to keep away from those pistols. Monty on the pillar, already spotted by Magis because the fire fades. He's aware that HS might commit. Instead, Magis takes him. Still patient play from Freiburg at the bottom of connector. Even more patient is Alu on Fountain. So we see the T side just setting up on the extremities and letting that 3-man core clear out the B site. Nice conversion round here from OpTic. Compare this kind of outcome to when the T side had pistols and we watched Torque struggle time and time again.
And now they finally peek out from the corner. That's 4-shot trying to spam with the P250. Runs out of bullets, reloads, peeks back out. But Magic Boy was waiting for him. Last one to go and last one to fall is going to be A2Z. And a very nice round for OpTic Gaming. No players lost. Freiburg from an M4 a few rounds ago. And then they're just rich as balls now. I was just reading the chat here. 2 damage headshot with a P250. I feel like it's happened to me before as well. So that's probably through the wall, through the door. But definitely didn't do enough damage. The impact.
We used to have 100 damage P250s, Vansili. Now we have 2 damage pistols.
Pretty much. And it starts off with 4-shot already falling from the hands of Alu. Even Steel is trying to get a better position, but there was a small gap in the smoke that gave him a chance to get sprayed down by Magis Boy. He was trying to get that self-boost on the top of the pipes to try to surprise his opponents moving down towards the connector side, but he burns down, unfortunately. So already a 5-on-2 situation. TCK, though, spots the cannon of Alu with the AWP, easily picks him off, but does not salvage the AWP. He's going to fall back. It's going to come down to A2Z, who cannot hold B, unfortunately. TCK now at this point will just try to save. Even at this point, if I was TCK, or if I were TCK, I'd move back up towards the A-bomb site, pick up the AWP, try to save it back for 4-shot instead of even going for exits. Because at this point, you're not really actually hurting any economy if you're getting exit kills for OpTic Gaming. Now you're giving him a chance to actually go for a boost, and he gets gonna get immediately dispatched there by Freiburg. So it's now tied up 5-5 in this match, as since a real gun round coming through from OpTic Gaming, since that turn of events from that eco that they won, they're running away with this T side.
And this was the story on Cash as well. Moments whereby Torque just were forced into saves, forced into these half little pistol buys. It was OpTic just running away with things outside of the pistol rounds. Now this time, of course, Torque had a chance at establishing themselves, but let's go back to that one round where OpTic win with only pistols. They flood down the A-bomb site, they just completely clear it up, and it's those sorts of rounds that completely change the outcome of the game, right? That's why they're such exciting moments, because they're not supposed to happen. They are anomalies. And when enough of those start to add up, it's just a matter of time before OpTic assert their lead. So they don't have a lead just yet, but versus this kind of a buy, they should certainly have one in a matter of seconds.
The way that they're set up, they're putting a lot of focus on the defense on the B side. Really, it's only Steel moving forward, trying to get the information. Read it by the op of Alu, he falls, and the rest of OpTic are actually heading towards the connector, up towards the A side, sorry. So I thought they were going to try to swing towards B, but the bomb is still down there towards that playground, so they can pick it up, and now they're going for a split towards the A site where it's open and easy for them to take over and get a bomb plant. I must say, they do have a nice setup, at least for Torque. You can see it. They have grenades primed. They have a flash from TCK as well. They wanted to focus to try to go for possibly a nade up on short side, a pop flash for 4 guys to peek right back out to try to go for those kills and those trades at B. But now, as the mollies are being thrown, they finally hear it. Bomb will get planted, and they're going to try to do the same thing towards the A side. So grenades will get launched soon. Pop flash for them to come across, but now it's going to be them that's going to have to turn the tables around and peek first. And that's where they're going to get greeted by a lot of rifles.
I mean, too many rifles. That's really the problem, right? Like, the nades right now from Torque are just trying to clear out someone who'd be up close on sight, but all these guns play passively back. There's no smoke grenade to cover the bomb, so this is just a matter of trying to overwhelm 1 or 2 keys, and Magis with Freiburg just cleaned them all up. All the effort in the world couldn't stop that crossfire, but Magis still dies to bomb. Alright.
It happens, man. He was fighting towards that washroom. He was dinked down. He was low, trying to run away. No avail, but again, look at the scoreboard right now there, or the money at least. Even after this full gun round, you still have Alu with 10k and Mixwell at 11k. So they're fine to lose a rifle or two from round to round. On the other end of the spectrum, Torque bought all the way down to 0 and can only afford for a one-off setup, where usually something like a double-off setup would actually be quite good to use on a map like Overpass for CT side.
This is kind of cool. We're watching Torque go back to what they were using on Cache. 3 players per one site, and then 2 players on another extremity. It's not the A site itself, but rather A long. They leave mid open for the taking versus OpTic, and they still net themselves the 3v3. That was a clash towards the B side as Steel flashes his way towards Playground, takes shots to the chest, and leaves 4shot all alone. Smoke down towards B, but bomb's not on site. However, Freiburg's body is.
Yeah, the last 2 guys are actually rotating all the way from T-spawn to B. As 4shot got that pick, cleared it out a bit, is like, okay, well, maybe these guys are heading towards the A side, but even smarter move for Magisk and Alu to stay together and move inside the B bomb site. 2 flashes and smoke even to try to clear out B if they wanted to. But you're just really using Alu as the forerunner. Just try to clear out the site. You can see how fast he's jiggling around just to try to clear it out in case 4shot drop down inside B. Now the bomb will go down, and 4shot still coming back towards that heaven side. Really focus on the left side of the pillar. But again, after that plant, OpTic Gaming utilizes the smoke that they threw to their advantage to retreat back towards the short side.
Look at the way that OpTic are playing this trade frag. I mean, they've literally walked side by side ever since they left the site. And they're waiting for 4shot to come in and fight. Instead, he'll save for the next one. Op moves forward. 7th round of the board here for OpTic Gaming. And that's going to be 6 consecutive. You know, if it wasn't for that economic reset in the 4th round versus OpTic, when they had 1 guy left, then Torque, you know, you could argue would have barely scratched away these 5th and 6th rounds. And we'd still be looking at just the pistols. Which was the case nearly on Cache. But OpTic's spree of victory here is not being contested, and unfortunately for Torque, they're gonna have to come in with another weekend bye.
It's tough, right? This is OpTic Gaming's map choice. I haven't really seen Torque play on a map like Overpass yet to see what type of setups they could do. But even who they play against is not at the level of how OpTic is. In terms of fragging power and so in terms of what we had on paper when we mentioned at the pregame. So it's still an adjustment period for this team to like have the opportunity to play these top tier 1 teams, at least for me in North America, and they could learn from that at least. But at this point, it's we said it pre-game too. It's pretty much OpTic's Gaming series in a bag.
Yeah,
from
I mean,
the first result.
From Torque, we have like a 16-10 win versus We Make History at the Cineplex event. That's not a team that's comparable in caliber to OpTic in any world whatsoever. Closer to OpTic would be Gale Force, what was Miami Flamingos, but even they are another, you know, North American premier level team, and that was a 16, I believe, 8 victory for Gale Force over Torque. So if you're only getting 8 rounds versus a team like Gale Force, then you shouldn't get many more than 5 versus OpTic.
Well, at least a pick in right there from Steel from the full rotation, but that gives a chance for OpTic Gaming to move inside this B bomb site. It's going to be a full retake. Already Monte is at Graffiti with the op in the hands of Shot, or should I say 4shot. Bomb is now planted. Molly being forced Monte out of position to even push forward. There's so much smoke right now as well. They're going to try to play maybe a boost to try to peek. But they're using the utilities to their advantage for OpTic Gaming to keep them honest for Torque at the short side of B. Now pushing forward. Monte taking down HS, but it's traded out by Alu with a 2K. Make that 3. Surprisingly enough, Alu still maintains with the Tech 9.
Another round the way of OpTic. This has genuinely just been the story of this T side.
Yeah.
It's been very convincing here from OpTic on the offense. Not ever since those first 5 rounds have come to a close, that is. So maybe this double op setup's the solution from Torqued. There have been glimmers of hopes, but unfortunately it seems like they're just too often than not on the retake or struggling economically. At least this time, money's not the issue. But deaths are. Olive opens up. Steel tries to get aggressive. I like the intuition. I like the aggression. Maybe Armin can get something done. But no, P2 toppled. TCK takes 2 because Mixwell burns to a crisp. But how many times have we had to watch 4Shot come in here in a clutch situation?
Yeah, even on top of that, not only from Steel falling down, but they had a boost to at least just win that fight easily on the short side of B. A smoke was there. I think it was HS that just ran through it. It immediately headshotted Monte, who was boosted on the top of the sandbag. So they're just on point of how they're checking their angles, their crosshair placement where they're moving through. And Torque just can't stand a chance. Mollies are being thrown across the site as well for B. They just can't find good positioning or even good footing to actually get the first shot against OpTic. And even if they do, they just lose it because OpTic's just so much better in terms of 1 versus 1 battles.
15th and final round of the half will feature the trio of FAMAS. This is double M4, nice amounts of utility. No kit. No opening pick, not as of yet. Magisk looks to clash on long. Steel and 4Shot are in position already. They're going to hear all this movement, so they call for the 4th man to come join. That's Armin. But another moment where mid is given up for free. This has been Torque's go-to.
OG knows this as well, that they've been playing aggressively towards this long A. Freiburg's just jiggle peeking all the time here from the playground area. Now they're going to have a quadruple peek, so it's going to be a bloodbath towards the long side, and so far it comes to the advantage of Torque. Make that, the tides have turned, and Freiburg gets a double kill with the AK-47 to bring up that 1-minute advantage on the terrorist side. Meanwhile, HS is trying to listen in from the connector side if anybody's rotating across from short, but so far it stays as though they're going to rotate from the staircase over to A. That's why it gives a chance now for the last 2 players to rotate from the long side, move into connector, also from the T-spawn, to all execute towards the B-bomb site.
Watch the first half on Cash go the way of 9-6. This one could also occur, but it's going to take the clutch from Monty and TCK. They've got 2 targets tagged. Freiburg and Alu hit up already. And very little utility for either side, but more notably, no kit. As TCK makes a ruckus, comes flying out from Graffiti. HS commits to the corner, finds the timing, the opening frag, and now the 1v3 swept under the rug as OpTic Gaming find double digits.
Yeah, really nothing more you could say there. We were pretty much being a broken record, beating down a dead horse, pretty much. It all came down to OpTic Gaming having free reign of however they wanted to play that first half on T side. Whether it be long battles, they were won. Whether it be taking control of the connector side to short, execution towards B, Court just couldn't do anything there. So hopefully they could turn things around for Torqued. It's a much needed pistol round that it didn't work for them in that last map. Hopefully it will happen here. We'll see that unfold after this commercial break.
My name is Tim the Tap Man. I use CyberPowerPC powered by Intel.
Let's go!
More substantial lead this time around than on cash. 10-5 at the end of what was a grueling spree of rounds. OpTic Gaming with 9 in a row. Torque, sure enough, won the opening pistol, and I think it's safe to say, Vansili, they need this second as well.
Definitely, and they needed that on cash. They really need to get it down this time, and it starts off not well at all, as Mixwell was pushed out towards the fountain, drops TCK. Two guys beating up with Mixwell as they're pushing towards long. So much information now. They know that they're now stacked towards connector or B side, and they reassess their defense to set up a crossfire on party control.
Steel hears shots, will double back for frags, and there we have it. 2 quick kills here in the favor of Torque. That's USPs to grab, and the man advantage to work with. But keep your eyes on the radar, because we've got Freiburg. No, excuse me, we've got Alu coming in from behind. T-side, go charging onto A. Freiburg's still over towards long. He's going to pick up some headshots. There we have it. Just down to Armin, and he's inside the site. Gets himself the 1v1, but Alu executes with ease. Taps away from that eventual flank, and will find OpTic 11. So, if Torque were in a rough spot, it's even rougher now.
Oh yeah. This is gonna be impossible. Well, let's just put it there. I mean, it started off so well from the way that they traded out from that party control to try to move out towards the A bomb site. But just moving into A itself, the rotation on a map like Overpass, it just happens so fast on the CT side that it's still, no matter what, very hard to still take over the A bomb site despite you winning and taking control of mid to start early. You saw them taking a little bit of time moving out of T-spawn for Torque, so they're using that extra time to maybe try to build up on a strategy moving on to the next one, because you don't see them buying any weapons at all with the exception of a smoke and pistols. So you're maybe trying to see an execute just to get a bomb plant down, and that extra time that was spent at T-spawn could be, what's our next move if we get the bomb plant in? What's our next move if we don't?
The entirety of Torque group up towards the washrooms. Magisk will plume his smoke. T-side's already thrown a couple of nades over as well. Freiburg, he will not be tested. He easily cleans this one up. They get nothing for their efforts there. Torqued get closer to the site, but they never find the entry.
Now here's the debate on the T side. Do you want to force this up? Give a chance for OpTic Gaming, or not give a chance for OpTic Gaming to build up the economy? Or are you just going to try to go for a real save and then just try to battle it up from a 13-5 deficit at this point? And they are going to decide to go for just pistols this time. On the other end, though, OpTic still pushing aggressively on the top of the party side. They spot one crossing over. Even on top of that, TCK shot a bullet, so information is given away. They saw a couple of guys cross over towards the long A side, so Alu will now reposition himself as he lines up even the bomb to start. At least it's traded out, and they get an M4 to start.
Yeah, Magisk starts to come in from behind. Does get spotted by Armin. Magisk can't get away. A2Z just guns him down as he attempts the retreat. That's something picked up, but not much. MP9 versus fully armed and Kevlar'd opponents. What's more important is the M4 of steel.
Right, an M4 and an MP9. MP9 to try to take control of this connector side, but Mixwell is going to greet A2Z fairly soon. Hears him fall away, and he makes it back safely. But that now gives a chance for Mixwell to get that information, because he hears him rotate back from the fountain. So you'll see one reassess. It's going to have to now be HS. That's going to have to plant behind the toxic barrels and wait for the terrorist team to move in. Again, only 2 flashes, make that 3 flashes for Torque to move inside this B bomb site, but there's no smokes. So even after these initial flashes, if HS still maintains his position behind the barrels, he's going to catch them all off guard.
I'm curious to see as to what TCK will do on the opposite side. He still sits inside the washroom. Steel catches Mixwell. That's the connector now open for the taking, but HS on the full commitment stares at his feet. They come walking by, and HS slays the entirety of the B site. TCK tasked with a 1v2 clutch. 5 seconds to the clock. I think not. OpTic Gaming find 13.
That was some quick burst shots and accuracy being met from HS's UMP. Yes, the first kill was quite easy. Made that even the third one, but the reaction on that second kill was prime, and that was needed there for HS to prevent Torque from actually getting a bomb plant and building an economy up. You can see here, yes, they have an AWP, they buy all the utilities that they can, but an extra $800 would have possibly helped them on the long run.
Forced back to the side of the playground is Torqued. Now, when we watched Overpass last weekend at the World Gaming Gig, it was Monty inside of the bottom of Connector who would generally find these opening picks. He constantly was cleaning up the anti-eco force pushes. He was constantly kind of lingering towards both bomb sites and definitely finding impact. If not a lot of frags, at least impactful kills. So I look to him being positioned there yet again, as he was tested early on, but the CTs go reeling back, leaving Alu to try and find picks.
Now it's going to be Steel that's going to assert himself to try to move forward and clear out towards the washrooms. Alu maybe heard something and will decide to fall back right away. And even playing closer with the AWP, just maybe spotted somebody head towards there, towards that connector side. Of course, we have a different point of view from Smokes versus players. But as he's jumping up and down, Steel hears it on the other side. So he knows that somebody's close. He's going to creep through the smoke and catch him off guard and gets the opening kill for Torque.
Freiberg peeks back by the op, but the shot does not connect, so he's still good to go. Taps towards the head of Steel, who finds the frag. That's now an opening to the T side, a big one at that. 5 versus 2 as Mixwell's caught off guard. Magisk bails him out, but that's still the A site crumbled underneath the feet of OpTic. Magisk, there's another frag, secures the exit, but that's around here for Torque, so 6-1 to the board. The first time they get guns on their T side, and they've at least got something to work with. But we watched OpTic do that exact same thing in the opening half, only to be reset in the follow-up round.
That's right, and even despite them knowing where the last two guys are, they're not going for the hunt. Because they lost Monty and TCK already, A2Z is only at $100, Steel is at $650, 4-Shot is at $1,000. So they win this round here, 4-Shot will be able to drop, Steel will be able to drop as well, and then the economy is still going to be very low and could be a reset moving on to the next, which would put OpTic Gaming at serious point. So thankfully enough, these three guys will maintain their weapons, but on the other end, you have Magis Boy and Mixwell who still have that money that could drop and still go for some sort of broken buy here for the counter-terror side.
Working out the buys here on OpTic, shuffling the guns.
Full gun round.
Everyone walks away, so it's all right. We got an op on each side. Alu the 4-Shot. 4-Shot falls as Alu finds the angle on the top side of the party. Armin and Steel gonna go for the playground boost. I like this. But of course, with a 5v4, the CTs have already fallen back. So had A2Z been able to do that prior to 4-Shot's peak, then he finds Alu playing aggressive. Now, he finds nothing for his efforts, and still Torqued have to play off the back foot.
Alu's playing with a glass cannon as well. Position himself to look back towards long. You already have somebody at short side, so that's how he could play in the open right now. So short side, that's going to be Magis Boy playing towards the washroom, spotting it from the connector side. So they pretty much have A on lock right now. And that's going to start off with Steel dropping the bomb, even in the point of view of Magis Boy, to try to get some information here. So Magis at this point, well, I know what they were trying to do now. You see the rotation coming through. Now 3 guys are at the A bomb site, but you still have that connector control for the terrorist team, so they could still move towards either bomb sites. And at this point, I'm expecting to see them try to work towards this B to try to get an entry against HS and Mixwell. Look at HS, just right into Monster there, on the other side of the smoke.
It's the bomb towards long that's not going to have time to rotate over. So eventually the A site hit will have to come in. They should be hitting B site first to maybe pull players off, but Armin walks right by the corner, doesn't check it, and it costs him as Magisk finds his kill. Steel still with bomb up close, 8 seconds to the clock. The CTs all start to fall off, and he's got an entry in. Magisk, oh, he hears it, but he's not got time to stop it. Takes the kill, but at least they find their plant.
But 5 guys alive here, Scrawny. I don't know how you're going to play that. Lots of raffles being thrown at the same time because, again, you're right. They had to play the fake first towards the B side. They already started executing towards A to start. A2Z is already running through, so I don't know if they were trying to play some sort of double fake but yeah, they knew on Torque's side it was a mistake of how they played that.
Monty says in all chat, does that count as a point? Everyone laughing about the situation. I mean, hey, they got their money, right? Maybe they realized that their options were limited. It gets them back on an op for 4-shot, gives them guns, low utility. But it's better than just an absolute 5-man denial. Patient setup yet again. 2 players towards bathrooms, but no aggressive peek. 4-shot still stands in this round. We'll see if he can get himself some kind of a pick closer towards the bomb site, but it's actually Armin to get himself into A. Walks right out and finds the immediate opening. Magus Boy down and a 5v4 to work with.
Yeah, they tried to change things a little bit for Torque. Instead of trying to go for executes and trying to throw flashes and get themselves known, they just decided to go for the silent play. Maybe the advantage is that they didn't have any utilities to work with, so they were like, okay, well, let's just try to walk across. They're able to catch some people off guard. But as they rotate across from that first initial pick and reassess, they're getting caught under these rotations, and already it's a 1-minute advantage back into OpTic Gaming side. Make that 2 as Alu lands that AWP shot onto Steel. Missed by 4-shot, a second one as well. Alu's coming in for the knife, but a no-scope comes through, and that is a BM quickly punished.
Knifing a full HP opponent. We saw him not get his knife kill on Cash, so he's fully committed at this point.
Pretty much.
Get the lineup smoke from Armin. Molotov's the fly. Oh, no. Thinks about it. Would have been the right call, seeing as, of course, now HS will come in from the backside. 19 seconds to entry in, and 4-shot takes the first with the spray. Freiberg able to buy more time. Now A2Z tries to punch this in. Finds his plant, but can he take the frag? Absolutely not. That's OpTic securing OT.
Even on at the end of that, they get a double op setup too, move it into the game point. In tennis, it's like what, double match point or something like that. These guys are just 15 to 6 now. They have so many rounds to play with. So you can see from Alu's confidence and his bad manners, it's just because he knows how OpTic Gaming pretty much has this game in the bag.
You know, silver lining for Torch is that they get to at least fight with a couple of guns. We get that double AK ump here in the 22nd round. But we're back into the realm that we were on Cash, where it's such a lopsided affair. Overtime's been secured, and Torch have a massive hill to climb. So it's certainly still, you know, possible that they get a couple rounds to the board, but you'd think with such little margin of error, this one's done and dusted. Alu opens up, finds Monty, and takes the opening pick. That's one of the pistols down for the count, but HS gonna get slightly tagged, and here comes TCK, denied by Alu, who gets aggressive, finds another kill, and HS takes the 4th. It's all on Armin. 1v5 with the opener, but everyone knows where he's at.
Even the bomb's down too. They got the bomb covered. They got connector side control as well. A2Z even at this point does not even pick up the AK. He's just gonna go AWP, trying to go for the flashy plays. Gets a nice shot though, at least at the Freiberg, but that ends it there. And ends the run, unfortunately, for Tort, as OpTic Gaming wins this second map 16-6, and the first one 16-8 on Cash to move forward here at the CyberPower Professional Series? Something series? Extreme Series.
Extreme. How did you forget? This is Extreme, Van Silly.
Yeah.
Can't you feel it flowing through your blood?
I'm just back in like the Harold and Kumar days. Extreme. But yes, indeed, it was a valiant attempt though, at least for Torque. But nonetheless, it was just OpTic Gaming showing how much stronger they are in this whole battle. And when you look at it on Overpass as well, though, Scrawny, how many rounds has started off with the first initial blood onto OpTic Gaming side?
Too many to count. It wasn't just, you know, there were so many that it was a trend. That they always had that man advantage straight from the get-go, and the exact same situation unfolded on Cash, right? We talked about how either we'd watch OpTic Gaming have a 5 versus 4 prior to the execution, or when the execution would come out, it would be an immediate 5v4. So it just seemed to always really be going the way of OpTic, and I think that comes down to a matter of op play. Alu, you know, substantially holds himself at the top of the kill feed on both of those maps. I think he had like mid-30s on Cash, and he finishes Overpass with 25 frags. And he was one of the talking points coming into this game, right? Is we talk about the fact that we get the bot Alu God Alu complex, like which one's going to show up, and that could be said for any of the OpTic players, because we've seen struggles in these exact kinds of online matches. But today they showed up to play. Alu in particular,
definitely God Alu for this series. Just the way that he's played on the cash side. Again, the 2 quick kills or the 2 quick 4K rounds that he's gotten on that second and third round of cash, those 1-taps, basically turning the AK into his own op in his own way, almost even making it even more viable than an auto sniper at some point. He was just on fire on that game. But not only that is the way that OpTic Gaming set up for trades too. When Alu fell down, you basically just had Freiburg move up at the same single spot that Alu died to just try to post up and get the right angles and help the team still hold their CT side. This is talking about overpass. Even despite that, the 2 versus 2 or even a 2 versus 1 that they had against 4-shot on overpass, they just held hands pretty much the way that they set up for the plant and the post-plant position. So they're working and they're gelling well. We talked about it before. OpTic Gaming, maybe with the new lineup they have, they still need some time to like work together and get to know each other a little bit more to actually become an even stronger powerhouse. Because when we talked about the leftover players, there's still some very skilled players that came together to form up OpTic Gaming. And I'm not gonna take any credit away from I'm a Pet as well. I'm a Pet did a very good job with OpTic Gaming's previous lineup, and it shows here that he still puts a lot of time and effort into helping out a 5-man roster that comes from all different areas of the world and could still gel well and perform. With that being said, though, OpTic Gaming now moves forward, so let's look at the brackets here. So coming up next, we're going to have Renegades versus Rise Nation. Unfortunately, that's not going to be with me. I think you're casting this one, though, still, Scrawny.
Yeah, Dust will be jumping in, so it'll be Mr. Moret and myself.
That's right. So then Renegades versus Rise Nation. Then you also have CLG versus Complexity, and also Misfits versus Luminosity Gaming. Looking at the 8 teams that actually made it into this tournament for this weekend for the CyberPowerPC Extreme Series CS:GO Invitational. For me, I would probably give this finals over to OpTic. Probably make it to the finals, and on the other end of the spectrum, if you're looking at the brackets, I'd probably give it to Misfits. They've been doing quite well here on the online side.
Misfits have been playing well as of late. I don't have the bracket in front of me.
Sorry. Yeah, Misfits would actually face off against the semis if they actually beat Luminosity.
It's Renegades on the other side of the bracket.
That's right.
I'm gonna say if I had to take a guess now, without having seen Renegades as of yet, I'm gonna say OpTic Renegades Grand Finals.
OpTic Renegades. I won't discount CLG as well. I have faith for our North American roots to try to move forward here. But that being said, that is going to be moving forward. We still have the giveaways. Make sure you guys check it out. All the details will probably be spammed in the chat, but we do have some goodies to give away throughout the whole weekend, including the prediction giveaway that we have. So the top 3 will be able to get some jerseys from CyberPowerPC, as well as keyboards and mice. On the other end, it is headsets and also Western Digital SSD hard drives. So thank you so much to you guys there to help us out to make this event for the weekend. This is the fall edition of the CyberPowerPC Extreme Gaming Series. And with that being said, I think, Scrawny, we could go to a break until the next matchup starts.
Sounds good.
Wow.